It is something actually I got used to more and more and more as I started to, almost like now I wanted to hear myself talk so I could see how well I thought I was communicating the message.
Yeah.
So so now it's like a chance to kind of review. But welcome back, blah, blah, blah. So just to start off with, I reckon let's try to get a bit more of that feeling through the front leg and using it to, when you get that roll, you're really trying to pull it back from like here back. Yeah. So you hopefully get a little bit of tension through the posterior part of your hamstring and through that posterior part of your knee to kind of give you a bit more of that awareness to go through. And if you can kind of get the shin down a bit more and really try to drop into it, hopefully you'll feel a bit more load going through. Yeah. And just the more load you feel, the better. So, and you go. And I think I'll also do some, I might practice a little bit myself. I'll make sure I don't hit you. Oh, look at that. I love the soccering. Oh, two, no! Started saying 2 from 2 before I caught it. It's a good lesson about taking catches actually. Take the catch first, exactly. And then celebrate. All right, left arm. Left arm again. Left arm might be better than my right. Let's actually have a look. It's going off the cuff here. What a bouncer! Sort of. Jesus Christ. If I start outdoing myself with my left hand, I'm in real trouble. So that one there, it's still that kind of like that. So you're almost looking to get down here and then pull back, which is not so much the roll that we're looking for. So that's more of your kind of like cycle out and plant, but with the cycle, you aren't getting that full extension. Yeah. And so that's kind of where, if you think about, so maybe just do that a couple of times, just like that, and plant flat. Yeah. Now come through straight, plant flat. Yeah, now come through straight. What you'll do now is come through and kind of like roll. Yeah. But even kind of like softer. So you think, I can put force down and I can put force going kind of back. Yeah. Now this whole come down and like slam, it's unnecessary force. Sometimes it does definitely help if you're looking to kind of like slam the leg and pull back.
I see what you mean, yeah, because it feels like I'm pulling it back a lot more than.
And that's the like force that matters. Slamming it down, right? Pretty much. Yeah. So at least just for these, because the more you try to slam, I think someone last week asked me, why don't you sort of talk about the slam? Yeah. And it was not that it's say a bad thing to do, but increasing say your ground reaction forces, those sort of like vertical forces, doesn't have any impact on say speed. I'm pretty sure that's quoted in research. But it's more like the anterior posterior forces, which essentially means like this way, you know, pulling back. So if it's easier for me to teach guys to brace their front leg by not so much slamming down, but you think like that to me isn't a slam. When I'm coming down, I'm trying to get that, right? Yeah. It might look like it's a slam, but I'm only giving as much force as necessary to get the leg working. I'm not giving any additional forces.
By hitting the ground.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, and I think what you're seeing here is because you might be trying to land a bit more flat-footed. It's that kind of just before you hit the ground, you do that. Yeah. And then you've got to try to re-extend, which is going to be a bit harder. Like it's better you land straight, flex a little, and then re-extend.
Not land.
Bands.
Flexed and then,
which will probably take. I think it's just too much first, because if you do land bent, the knee goes, oh, it's a great position to absorb force. So it kind of wants to sit there until after you bowl the ball, and then you'll kind of bring it through as you kind of release. So you've kind of missed that kind of chance to use it. Yeah, that there. Exactly. Just feel the difference there. That's perfect.
especially in these few balls now, it feels like I'm trying to go too far into the ground. In a way, you know, like I'm trying to like go down instead of back. Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Yeah. How comfortable did that feel?
Very actually. Like,
Yeah.
it feels a lot
Hey,
smoother.
let me say it again.
It feels a lot like smoother than what like it's slam it into the ground. So yeah.
Perfect. I got a comment on the YouTube thing today that I woke up to that I shared on my Instagram things. I think his name was Maz. So Maz, if you're watching, appreciate it. But he was saying like he'd watched what we did last week, took something useful away, and then was able to get success after trying it for like a year.
Oh really? Oh, no way.
And this is sort of one of the reasons why I enjoyed doing something like this, because like if there's one component of fast bowling that people will look for the best drills for, it's this.
The brace front leg.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I thought, well, let's actually try to break it down into a context that will actually work. And you think like none of this is really like let's set a drill up. No. You're just bowling.
Yeah, exactly.
With some sort of intentional focus. Yeah. And I've got a movement that I'm trying to teach you. So that's my motor skill acquisition, which I then want to transfer into this. So yeah, I'm thrilled. Keep going through for a few more of these because then you can do it off the short run. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, and then you've got the challenge of the long run.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can really see a difference.
It feels like I'm more trying to pull it from my like my ankle and my heel than like my whole foot.
Yeah, it's brilliant. All right, do you want to go for one? Hand. Yeah. Let me have a look. So probably somewhat similar to last week, maybe a bit better actually.
At landing it's a bit better, it just like it bends.
Yeah, maybe if we come back to here, maybe we might better compare that to some of the other footage, but it does look like now, I mean, you are still landing a little bit bent.
Yeah, exactly.
Only slightly, which is good, which is probably why it stays, you know.
It bends like a touch more as well.
Yeah.
At delivery itself.
So I think this is where it'll be similar to what you've done on the, like in these walkthroughs. Yeah. But this is where what you can do is, as you're coming back to Mar, you're just practicing that kind of, think like almost heel toe rocking through. Yeah. All right, see how I go as well. Maybe I'll join in for a couple. The string's way out of whack here. The juicy first start. Nice. What I will do is give myself some sort of string to follow because I know that I could just easily go through the motions here and then I might get stuff right, but I'm just aligned for the wrong target and I start throwing out juicy, wide half volleys. Nicht so good. Yeah, cool. I mean, look, this is sort of where one thing we can look at now is the drag, which going, if you're dragging that foot along the ground, you've got 2 feet on the ground, and then your knees end up being kind of close together at ball release, and it kind of makes it a little bit easier to kind of brace the front leg. Yeah. So you could try that off a short run, and see how it goes, because now you're kind of linking potentially 2 cues together. But the understanding I want you to take is that I'm using this to kind of roll that through, and you'll hear it too. But I am curious if this does make a difference with what you're doing. So you could try it off a few steps just to kind of get a feel for it, and feel free to go through. It'll be on the camera, so we can sort of have a look at how it looks.
So now I'm focusing on getting my knees together at release.
Nah, because that'd be too much of an internal cue.
Yeah.
I just say think about dragging your toe along the ground as you're trying to say, punch knee forward.
Yeah.
But the more you're more just trying to keep that Now your leg will naturally snap up.
Yeah.
It does that already, so I won't have to cue you on that. But you just think about trying to keep that toe dragging. It's a good ball. How did it feel? Okay, much better, he says. Rightio. Isn't that interesting? I suppose I'll repeat the comments. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to just say it again for the camera?
Yeah. So yeah, the cue of dragging my foot really helps because it aligns my body a lot more to the target, and that snapping of the hip as well comes naturally then as well. So,
yeah, nice. I'm curious to see how it looked on camera. Yeah, maybe you go through for one more.
Yeah.
There he is. Oh, fucking hell. It looks like such a good ball to a left-hander. It's just not where I want it. Let's have a look at this footage. Yeah, so I think that's just, well, that's cool then. So I reckon what we've discovered is it's like as you put more energy behind you, you just more want to come onto that forefoot to pull you through.
Yeah.
And we talked about that sort of last week with sometimes when you go to forefoot, it wants to do that.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, which is what happening now, right?
Yeah. But I think that's good. Like now you've got some something specific to go. You now need to get some sensation of like kind of using your heel first, right? So that might be your cue to come in here, and you're just gonna think about. Let's try and find a cue. Like grab the ground with your heel. So even there when you're practicing it, that one you could sort of see your, kind of, it's just that kind of movement there. Like as you bring the leg down, you don't kind of bring it down as one unit. So say like the leg's a stiff plank of wood. That might help you to sort of get it into a better position because you do kind of, as you bring it down, you want to kind of separate it into the femur and to, your tib. So I think this is where if we can somehow cue you into getting this whole leg working as one, and I think the stiff plank of wood might help. Yeah. Let's see how you go with that. Yeah. Yeah, awkward. It's good. In fairness, like, if it felt normal, then you'd be doing the same thing as you were doing before. Yeah. So this is all part of the problem-solving process. Yeah. And, this is also only the second session we've done working on this. So we have a whole off-season, which is joyous. One thing you can do now is that the more you point your toes up, the easier it will be to keep the leg straighter. So yeah, you might think about coming down like that. Maybe off a shorter run, just to get comfort with it. Cool. And you had a chance to kind of exaggerate the feeling of heel to toe there as well. So yeah, much easier to rock from heel to toe. Yep. Nice. How'd that one feel?
Yeah, good.
It looked better.
Like it really feels like my front leg is braced more and more when my foot is up. Like
Yep.
the toes are pointing up.
Yeah, cool. Maybe I just repeat that for the camera, but yeah, it feels like the foot's braced more and more, the leg's braced more and more when the toe's pointing up more. So there's a little insight. Cool, I reckon that's good for now with this. We've made some progress. Yeah, so for this like first set, you're looking at using that slightly wider angle, aligning yourself towards, say, the batsman. So I was set the string up to, say, middle stump,
Yeah, exactly.
but like hopefully you can kind of visualize the batsman there and think about you want to get your alignment there and then take the ball away. So we'll ball 6, we're going to check the full track, and then we'll check your pitch map, and then away we go. Not your best ball.
Huh?
Not your best ball.
So left hand.
Yeah, that's it. Claim it. You didn't say which left or right-handed. That's right. And get the speed gun out. It's kind of cool that you can actually like see it mapping out the ball.
Oh, you can see the whole pathway.
Yeah. Oh, 110.6. Is that ball? Actually, I can tell it here. Actually, it's actually one of the other really useful things it says because it tells you how many balls you bowled.
Oh, as well. Okay.
Yeah. So for say trying to track workloads and stuff,
Yeah.
it's a useful thing because I rarely kind of count unless I give guys like skill challenges, so that because they're going through a challenge, they have to actually check it to go ball 1 this, ball through this, ball through this. But useful to know how much you are. Nice ball, 109.7. $109.7. All right, hang on, let's have a look. So, hang on, come back. I'll screen record it so we can sort of go through it. But back. So now I can start with this one. When you sort of have a look through. So yeah, first ball, not your not the finest one.
No.
Yeah, we know that that's not great. That ball a little bit wider. I'm curious, yeah, how you felt aligned for those first two.
So the first one, I really felt like I was aiming it at leg stump almost.
Yep.
And I think the second one, I was trying to overcompensate. So
Yeah.
it went sort of even more
Yeah,
to the offside, right?
perfect.
And then the last, I think, 2 or 3 that I bowled was quite nice.
Got that really nice.
Just outside off.
Yeah, this one was a nice kind of shortish one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure as batsman.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I wonder how, like, if that's gone like back shoulder type thing.
Yeah.
But 4. Yeah, these are really nice.
Yeah. You can really see the angle in as well.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice.
Yeah, so now if you think about like how we can use this, and then if we can get a bit more of seam away on that, then that's just gorgeous. 5,
This one's a bit fuller, I think.
6. Yeah, I think that one might have tailed away just a touch. Okay, let's check your pitch map. You only bought 5. Damn it. Terrible counting. Yeah, that's not terrible.
Not terrible, yeah. I was going to say the same.
Yeah, well, okay. That's the first set. Why don't we try then? Now let's see if we align you towards off stump, we'll keep a similar sort of angle. Nice. There's definitely some swing on that one.
I'm not sure if it's because the lines are off stump or just because I'm used like I'm bowled at this angle already for this like 1 over, but that just felt better.
Felt better, nice.
Yeah, just where to aim it.
Cool. Really nice. 109.9. I always think it's so amazing just how simple it can be just to adjust, you know, a little angle here, some alignment there.
Like a couple centimeters even as well.
I'm gonna wait. So I think when you do find that the ball might be going a bit wider, just make sure that when you release it, you're really trying to make yourself aligned towards your target. So nice, 110.7. .7. Very nice. So, this one. Look at your pitch map first. Oh, look at this.
Oh, it's about that.
That's pure gorgeous. How do I want to zoom in on it. 1. Ball tracking, looks nice. Pitch map. Yeah, this is what I want to see.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah, much nicer. Isn't it crazy how just a slight sort of change, and the beautiful thing is that these balls are kind of, as you can see in the ball tracking, because you're coming from a slightly wider angle.
Angling in right onto off stump.
Exactly,
yeah.
which is sort of where now it's quite cool because it's not on that sort of middle line.
Because usually when I would bowl that where it bounces there, I'd be coming from, just past the stump, so they would be going,
way
6 stump, 7 stump. Right?
Yeah. So that's fantastic. Like, and then I think the third ball was the one that was right over off stump, which is really nice. But that wasn't the one that swung. That one. Maybe that one was the one that.
Second one.
Yeah, this is the second one. Yeah. Yeah, you can sort of see a bit of swing there, which is nice. Definitely kicks off these pitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice how you can sort of see the angle inward a little bit, and that one kind of straightens a touch, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's perfect, and that's just a small change in
Yeah.
a small change in the pitch map.
Amazing.
Hey, let me take a screenshot of this because I want to. That. Yeah, so cool. Now I think like part of it's obviously going to be, you know, how much does the simple fact that you've bowled and over, and then you've had a chance to kind of self-organise yourself play into it. There'll always be a bit of that, but I think where it sort of comes back to that this stuff sort of works pretty well is going. It's so much easier if you can assess, say, the outcome and go, well, that one, I'm bowling these balls, but I'm aligning myself in this position, so it probably means that I'm having to compensate and do this. So it's easy for you to problem solve yourself to go, well, why don't I not try to have to try to figure out a way to bowl when I'm not in a great alignment? Let's fix the alignment, and things will just flow a lot more naturally. So when people lose rhythm, this is kind of a cool way that you can go, why don't we try to bring you back into something like this? It allows you to continue to trust your technique. I was having a chat with one of my clients today actually, who was asking me about like what do you do when sort of external influences start to cloud your ability to sort of like really back yourself to execute that skill. So you might think, well, now I might hold back a little bit, try and place the ball. It's sort of like you've discovered something wrong. That's probably not the most effective strategy to take. but naturally when things aren't going quite right, you're more open to external factors. Like if your toolbox isn't good enough, like it's filled with shit tools and you don't trust it, then naturally you'll have to absorb external influences. And that's where if you don't have great ones, you can sort of...
And when you're bowling well as well, it's like you don't think about anything else except for just bowling.
No,
so
not at all.
Why should that change when you're bowling badly?
Exactly. It's why I always tell people, like, I want to know when you get smashed. I don't care when you take FIFA. Like, it just means shit's working, which is great. But like, I'm a coach. I want to coach something. A coach shouldn't be coaching when shit's going right, so to speak. But yeah, so what I was sort of saying back to him was one, like, you know, when I showed you that delivery routine, this is what you'll need to own. These are the areas where external influence can come in. This is what happens when you start to lose faith in that process. But let's give you a better toolbox to go, all right, if shit's not working, do you know what's happening and why it's happening? Because now I think you have a good grasp of like why this is happening, which means that it's real simple for you to change.
Yeah, exactly.
And even simpler when you've got the constraints out, because we can use those as visual guides. But what happens as well is that you'll eventually be able to visualize this. Now, visualization in your brain, it's almost exactly as if it was happening in real life, which is why it can be quite a powerful tool if you can be bothered spending time trying to go through it. Now, it's much easier when you're standing here. Like when you're at the top of your mark, it's nice to kind of visualize what you want and then go and do it. But if you're at home and you're sort of trying to visualize,
really work,
no, not really. So when we take the string away and you're now into your pre-season, off-season, in-season, you'll always have that kind of tool in your toolbox to go, where am I aligning my string line? You visualize it, and then away you go. So,
that makes sense.
Now let's bring the string line a lot straighter. And I want to see how you go now if we try to put you back into old positions. Well, it's hitting the string, which is nice. You're pushing the ball.
Yeah, like, I don't know, just it doesn't feel like I'm bowling it properly as well.
Okay.
Weird.
All good learning and awareness. Very nice ball though, that one. .103. Maybe I missed that. Right, 106.4. We can already see the speeds are a little bit slower.
Yeah, definitely not.
And that one's a great example of your like outswinger, just starting too wide and then keeps going.
Because it starts here, like, for the first stump, but yeah, obviously.
How do you feel with, say, the energy at the moment? Do you feel like you're putting in more energy? Huh?
It's worse that I'm coming straight. Like, I feel now bowling it from a wider angle, it feels like I can get through my action more.
Okay.
Maybe because I'm coming across myself a bit more as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Because now it sort of feels like I'm a bit too square on in a way, like in the whole action.
Too front on, yeah.
Too front on.
So you have to kind of,
coming across.
yeah, nice. .106. Yeah, because that energy that you're feeling behind the ball as you release it is an interesting one to go, which alignment is going to be best for you to feel like you can get as much energy behind the ball as you can to be able to then, you know, put as much energy into your action as possible. Yeah. 106.7. All right, so that was our 6. Let's have a look. So 1, like, that's not too bad. But see, now that you don't have the angle right.
Yeah, it just sort of stays wide.
Yeah. 2, yeah, that's a nice ball. You'll happily take that.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of ball that you want to keep.
Yeah.
Another good one. And so from here, it's almost like you're just bowling a nice straight line. Hopefully the ball doesn't swing. Otherwise, maybe these are the ones that from here, like if you get that to say, come back in, then that's that nice little one that'll hit the stumps. And yeah, I know the balls look like they're bouncing quite high here, but you play on turf usually, so
exactly,
it won't make a difference.
And on this pitch, it's like higher than normal as well.
Yeah, that's it. This was the Duke. I did get told that it can track them okay, but not as clear as the white balls. But you can see that's fucking miles off.
Started.
Yeah. So yeah, here's what we sort of talked about. You can see it really clearly from here.
Yeah.
The angle the ball's already on is going away from the batsman.
Yeah, exactly. Right,
And so with swing, it takes it way off the wicket. And this is something we discussed with Kertan at the start, is that if he runs in too straight and he wants to bowl an outswinger, because he's so close to the umpire's end stumps, the line will naturally start on an angle away from the batsman instead of being at the batsman swinging away. And so this was some super valuable kind of insights for us to go, let's readjust this. And that's what we've done. So there's an insight for you. Another kind of one where I think, yeah, straight up and down.
Straight on.
And similar. So let's have a look at our pitch map. It was this one. Yeah. So let's take a screenshot. Now, if we look at the balls there, I reckon they're similar to the over before.
Yeah.
It's just the over before probably had more that were making the batsman play in that nice channel,
definitely.
and this one. But this is great. Like, you can see the two balls here that were the ones that we go, okay, that's cool. That's going to be where we're going to get the guy to play. But it only has to be ever so slightly outside of that.
It's only like a couple centimeters.
I know.
Already,
Pretty much. So, yeah, I think that's fascinating. That's probably enough for us to film.
Yeah.
But I think that's really cool. So
that's really interesting, actually. Like, to see it like that. Yeah. It's really cool.
yeah, so cheers to the guys at Full Track. That stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah,
seriously. Well, look, I think to finish, this is probably enough of the film kind of stuff. I think they've got enough information. But if you want to try anything else now to finish off with, we can sort of maybe play around with a couple more angles if you'd like.
Yeah.
Or and sort of also start thinking about the brace front leg stuff. Right. Yeah, finishing off spiel at the end. If you guys have any questions, put them in the thing before. Tell me what you learned as well, because it's good to hear what you guys learned. And actually, maybe I'll bowl as well now and see if I can capture some footage. Oh, maybe, I'll see. Thanks, guys. Maybe one more thing before we sign off. I did gun some of Kertan's speeds, and before, when I asked you how did it feel when you were bowling that close to line, we said the energy behind the ball, and you said that you didn't feel like you could complete your action as much. Like what I noticed in the speed game was that you were bowling around 110 when you were coming from a nice wider angle, getting good energy behind the ball. When you came over the wicket, it started going 106, 102, 108 maybe, but kind of around 106. And so it's interesting to see from you. You felt it was different. And just having a slightly wider angle where you could kind of complete that action, get yourself into maybe some more hip sort of separation. Yeah, fascinating, right?
Yeah, really cool.
So, do you want to bowl fast?
I do. I would love to. Yeah.
Get that alignment right. So, and here's one of the kind of ways that, because I do, I think being able to trust that snap.
Yeah.
One, you want to learn the snap, but two, if you can trust it when you do give it everything and you snap yourself forward, the alignment's going to make the ball go where you want it to. Yeah. So then you can sort of allow yourself to put more energy into it. But if you don't, which maybe when you're bowling a little bit too close, there's that kind of going, I can't quite.
Hesitation, right?
Yeah.
Not trusting it enough.
Pretty much. So fascinating. All right, that's enough now.